All right, y'all. Today we are talking about creating a monster, how men ruin their relationships. Cause a lot of people be talking about how women be ruining their relationships and stuff, but men really be ruining their relationships too. Both genders be doing it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So let's get into this, man.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is PsycHacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is creating a monster. Over the duration of my career, I've done a lot of consultations with a lot of different men. And many have spoken to me about their unsatisfactory marriages and relationships. And this has allowed me to discover points of convergence throughout most of their cases. And I want to share some of my findings with you today. First and foremost, I've discovered that bad relationships are almost always based on poor selection.
You know, bro, that word almost always. This is a guy that literally has talked to many different men in many different relationships. And he said most of the time, bro, is due to poor selection, bro. Pay attention. Pay attention to that, bro.
Yeah.
I cannot say this enough. You can't have any relationship with anyone. There's a whole chapter of my book on this concept alone. You can only have certain kinds of relationships with certain kinds of people. For whatever reason, certain people are not temperamentally or emotionally or psychologically able to have stable, peaceful, loving, long-term relationships. And it's not your job to figure out why or how to fix them so you can get what you want from them. If you insist that you should be able to have the relationship you want with the person you want to have it with, independent of whether or not that person can emotionally or psychologically do so, then, my friend, you're on the path of pain.
Yeah.
It won't work out for you, but you'll only...
Literally, bro. Like, you gonna find out the hard way, bro. Question, Justin.
Yeah.
So I know he said like it's not your job to find out why or stuff, but bro, do you think people can be built into who you need them to be?
I think so. Honestly, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about.
Yeah, I
I
do
think
too.
it's about. Are they willing to be built? Like that shit. That shit sounds so manipulative. What I just said. But I
But
think
it's
so.
real shit though, bro. I don't know, bro. Like if okay, for example, you involved with another woman and maybe the first time y'all have sex, it's just you didn't do something that she likes being done to her, which is problematic. We'll get into that in another video. But she can tell you, like, hey, I really like this thing being done, or I really don't like this. That's in essence building you in a way.
Mm, yeah.
So it's like compromise. Like people always talk about compromise in relationships. Like, okay, I can stop doing this thing or I can start doing this thing if I so choose. But like you said, they just got to be willing. I feel
Yeah.
like not many people are willing because they
Nah, I
look
know.
at it as like a bad thing.
Yeah.
only figure out that I'm right after years of conflict, heartache, and despair. No bueno. In any case, it's poor selection that is almost always to blame. But that doesn't really help someone who's already in a difficult relationship now, does it? He can't turn back the clock and pick someone else. And even if he could, would he? In any case, I'm going to spend the rest of today discussing the second most prevalent factor common to unsatisfactory relationships. After listening to the arguments and stalemates of hundreds of men, it has become clear to me that a lot of these men were complicit in creating the dynamics of which they complained. Now, they almost always did this unconsciously and unintentionally, but they did it nonetheless. I call this process creating a monster. In my experience, most monsters aren't born, they're created.
That's a fact.
Let me explain what this looks like using a very obvious example. Have you ever seen a little girl having a temper tantrum in a store because her father wouldn't buy her a toy? Chances are you've seen this happen. If not, it's
Yeah.
fairly easy to imagine. Girl says she wants the toy. Father says no. Her eyes start welling up with tears. Girl says she wants the toy. Father says no. The child starts crying. Girl says she wants the toy. Father says no. The child flops down on the floor. Father says no, and now the girl is kicking and screaming. Father says no, and the kid yells, "I hate you." Father says no, and the girl threatens to call CPS and report him for child abuse. Father says no, and the kid starts to break and throw things. Father says no, and the girl starts hitting her own head against the floor. Now, the father has done a good job holding the line up until this point. However, if the stakes are now too high, if he suddenly caves and says, "Fuck it, fine, here's the goddamn toy, just stop it, okay?" then that parent would have created a monster that day. He certainly didn't mean to do that, but that's what he would do when he rewards the child for behaving like a monster.
Literally, bro. And people don't understand that aside from your viewing perspective of things, you have psychological things that are going on. When you are rewarded in certain situations, they are enforced. That is something that everybody has to deal with. They are enforced when you are rewarded. So you have to be very careful what you reward, even in times of dire situation.
Man, that parenthood
Monster.
is so tricky, dude.
It's hard, bro. But it's honestly, if you know psychology, you can navigate it pretty well, bro. Like, you know for a fact that after this, the child will simmer down. Most likely, they'll say, "Hey, I don't have that thing," but they're not dead. They're not hurting inside badly that they don't have that thing. And once they realize that, that desire isn't even there anymore. So you did not create the monster. You did not aid in that process of rewarding them for bad behavior.
He taught the child the location of his thumb screw, the emotional experience that he isn't willing or able to tolerate, and functionally instructed her in the behavioral protocol she needs to follow in order to get what she wants.
Twin, did you catch that, bro?
No, I didn't.
Bro, he said he literally showed her the degree that she has to go to in order to get what she wants. So that means, bro, women are manipulative creatures, not by, conscious effort, but they're just subconsciously. They want to get what they want. And so once you show them the length they have to go to, it's like in every other situation, they can go to that length and get what they want. Like now they know what unlocks the door, bro.
And it started as
and
a
they're
kid?
gonna use it. Yeah.
Damn.
The father could scold the child with his mouth afterwards, tell her that good girls don't act like that.
It won't matter.
He could sit down and have a conversation with her about her behavior and get a commitment from her not to behave like that in the future. He could use threats of future punishment to dissuade her from doing that again. But none of that really matters. None of these interventions are really going to work because he reinforced the bad behavior.
Literally,
Contingencies trump communication.
That is why leading by example is always going to be stronger than you telling somebody to do something.
Yeah, facts.
This is psychology. This isn't something that people can avoid, bro.
Yeah.
This is things that are processes that are happening in your mind, bro.
And they're not, a lot of people not even aware that this is happening.
Literally, bro.
Report, keep you available. That child wants something. The next time that child wants something, what do you think is going to happen? Her behavior is going to escalate to headbanging, probably even faster than the first time, because the parent has taught her that that is how to turn my no into a yes. All the child has to do is make things sufficiently uncomfortable for that parent, and he gives in. And the parent has taught the child that the most effective way of doing just that, in this case, is to hit your head against the floor. Over time, this transforms the child into a monster. which is obviously not good for the child, as no toy is worth such a metamorphosis. And it's certainly not good for the parent, who becomes increasingly angry, resentful, and hopeless. Giving in at that point was the worst possible thing that parent could have done. If the parent was honest with himself and understood that there was something his daughter could do that would cause him to fold, then it actually would have been better if the parent just got the kid the toy when her eyes started to well up. That way, not only would he not have had to deal with a temper tantrum at all, but he would have reinforced a much more manageable behavior as well. Basically, if you're going to give in, it's a good idea to give in as quickly as possible. On the other hand, the parent could have decided not to give in to the child no matter what. Not if she breaks stuff or calls CPS or screams until she loses her voice. Not if it takes hours and hours and hours of patience and self-control to hold the line. It doesn't matter. If he chose not to give in, no matter what, none of the bad behavior, though manifested, would have been reinforced. And this means that it would already have begun to disappear.
Literally.
Like that kid might try those shenanigans a few more times, and it will likely be a very uncomfortable few more times for that parent. But if the parent holds firm, then the kid will eventually learn that shit doesn't work.
Doesn't.
And the child will eventually abandon that strategy in favor of some other kind of tactic or manipulation because it's not so stupid that it will continue to execute behaviors that don't work and have never worked. Do you understand?
So it's I hate to use this example, but it's kind of like training a dog.
Yeah.
Like, bro, if you're eating at the table and your dog is next to you whining and you hear that whining, you're like, oh my God, here, you can have it. They're going to come back and whine every single time they see you eating. And they know for a fact that you're most likely going to give them some shit. But if you let that dog begin to bark and do things like that, but you're just looking at it like, bro, I'm not giving you anything, bro. Like, who do you think you are? They're going to stop. They're going to go walk away. They're going to go lay down because they know that it doesn't work, bro. This is literally psychology, bro.
Yeah. This is blowing my mind.
Dealing with bad behavior is kind of like the prisoner's dilemma. If you're eventually going to give in, you should give in as quickly as possible. On the other hand, if you're not going to give in, you shouldn't give in no matter what. The reason why so many people end up in suboptimal situations is because they think they won't give in, but they weren't honest with themselves with respect to how they would stand up to escalation. Great. Now let's bring this over to adult relationships with women. Now, in most cases, the first issue is actually caused by the second. That is, the reason why so many women might be poor candidates for good relationships is not because they're like inherently broken, but because they were trained in monstrous behavior by other men in their lives.
And this,
most likely,
this is a failed leadership problem, bro.
Yeah.
A failed man problem.
their fathers or their exes. You're seeing that behavior in your current relationship because it worked in their previous relationships, and she's expecting that you won't be much different. Make sense? Now, don't think that the kind of behavior I just described is unique to dysregulated children. I have seen more than once with my own eyes grown women doing all of those things and more. The kind of shit that can happen in relationships behind closed doors is almost incomprehensible. In any case, it's quite possible that you have seen or will see behavior like this at some point. So the question men need to ask themselves is, how much am I willing to take? Of course, the most common thumbscrew in adult relationships is threatening to leave. Propose to me by the end of the year or we're done, kind of a thing. Many men give in at this point, but like the hypothetical father in the toy store, this is the very worst thing they could possibly do. All it does is make threatening the basis of the relationship more likely in the future. And you can't have a stable, harmonious, long-term relationship with someone who threatens the basis of the relationship every time she doesn't get what she wants.
And who does this all the time, bro? Women in this day and age are known to say, hey, if this thing looks the same at 6 months as it does at 1 year and we're not in a relationship, I'm gonna ask him, what are we?
Yeah.
What are we? And the guy is like, oh, well, I mean, I guess I should ask around. Bro, that is so retarded, bro. I have been in one relationship, and that was in fucking high school. I do not allow any woman to back me into a corner to say, oh, what are we, bro? I have a process to make sure that this is going to work out. I'm not going to get in a relationship that I think is going to fail. Even 90%, 99%, bro. I need 100% solidified within myself to know that this is going to work for me to get in a relationship with you.
Got to, bro. Got to be stupid.
And that's the sternness that a lot of men lack, bro. Just because you love that girl so much, oh, you pussy whip, nigga. Yo ass literally don't know what to think no more. So you like, shit, I might as well get in a relationship with her. I might as well get in a relationship with her. Not that it makes sense, but you as a man, bro, you need to be able to back yourself out of every situation you get in. Every single situation you get in, you need to back yourself out and say, okay, does this make sense? Is it logical? Is the outcome that it is proposing logical for what is happening?
Bro, you want to know a quick story, bro?
Yeah, bro.
So I was in high school, right? And there was this girl, I knew she liked me. Like, we was talking. And I remember I said in a group chat, never do this, bro. I said in a group chat, I was like, if 4 people like this message, I'll ask this girl out right now. Like 5 niggas like the message. So that's how I got in like a relationship in high school.
Wow, bro.
Then later down the line, the bitch cheated, bro.
I'm disappointed, my boy. But hey, it was high school. It was high school, bro. I'm not gonna hold it to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that really wasn't your fault, bro. It was your fault, but it ain't your fault.
That was like one of the dumbest things I ever did in my life, to be honest.
Bro, you'll never do no shit like that, bro. I think people kind of put relationships next to dating. Like, okay, we're going to get in a relationship to see where this goes. No, motherfucker. I'm not seeing where a damn thing goes. I already saw where this shit went before I got in a relationship with you. That's why I'm in a relationship with you. I'm not in this shit trying to make sure shit good. No, I'm making sure shit is good before this, bro. Our relationship is a solidified agreement, bro. Solidified, bro. Just a mental agreement between us. So I'm gonna make sure everything is good before that, bro. And I'm definitely not gonna leave it up to the bros.
Nah, that was an L move, bro. I don't know what else.
Yeah, definitely. Nigga said, like the message, I'll ask around. That's the type of games we was playing in high school, though, bro.
Okay.
Like, shit, nigga, you think I ain't gonna talk to her, bro? How much you would bet? $10. Yeah, nigga, it was like that. You see what I'm saying?
It's just not possible, my dudes. But here's the kicker. She only does this because it works. And why does it work? Because you taught her that it works, my dude. In reality, that guy should have seen the ultimatum coming. Over a long enough timeline, it's almost inevitable. If that man were honest with himself, and he understood that he wouldn't be able to emotionally tolerate losing that woman, then he shouldn't have waited for the ultimatum. By acting first, he not only avoids reinforcing monstrous behavior, but he also remains the leader of the relationship and the point of origin of his own decisions as well. On the other hand, if, for example, that man just doesn't want to marry that woman or doesn't want to marry, period, then he has to be willing to hold the line no matter what.
Literally.
And this includes the willingness to suffer the pain of losing any particular woman. Some women will leave, and in doing so, they kind of confirm your decision, as their behavior reveals that they love what they want more than they love you.
Okay.
So why would you increase your commitment? On the other hand, some women will stay, and if you resolve this challenge successfully, they will learn not to threaten the basis of the relationship in the future because you've taught them that it doesn't work. And of course, in adult relationships, there is a third option. You, the man, can remove yourself from the relationship. And I don't mean threaten to remove. I mean, just remove. You can just leave. And you can just leave at the first red flag without waiting for the bad behavior to turn into a battle of wills. And you'll start to do this when you stop putting your desire for any particular woman ahead of your peace and your mission and your self-respect.
Bro.
So those are your three options, gentlemen. Either leave, concede as early as possible, or hold the line no matter what. Because if you're not honest with yourself and you mix up those strategies, you're going to have a monster on your hands. What do you think? Does this fit with your own experience? Let me know in the comments below. And please send this episode to someone who you think might.
Bro.
W episode, bro.
W episode, bro. Nigga ain't told no lie.
That's why he just taught
Bro.
me a lesson.
Bro, like, we got to react to more of these, you know what I'm saying, psych hacks, because it's real shit, bro. It's like, dude, you can't expect A when you doing B type shit. Like, you got to be realistic about shit. And I think it all come back to self-love, bro. If you love yourself enough, bro, you will prioritize your peace and your order within your life so that you do not allow a woman to give you that ultimatum and you sacrifice your peace to, you know, be with them and shit, bro. Like, people think it's a time limit. You know what I'm saying? You hear, oh, we met in 2 days and we were married the next week. And you think that's supposed to be you, bruh. Those are 2 people out of the 8 billion people on the earth, bruh. Like, come on, let's be real, bruh. And you have your own process. You need to figure out your own process, bruh.
Yeah.
It's real unfortunate.
Bro, when people get in relationships, they forget the self-love part, like, because they be so attached to this other person. So a lot of that love be going over there instead of kind of coming back to themselves. They lose themselves, basically.
Yeah, bro. And one of the pillars in my relationship with who I decide to get in a relationship with is I'd let them know, bro, you need to love yourself more than you love this relationship, bro. Because if you don't, this shit will fail, bro. Because then you're going to start putting energy over here and not towards yourself. And I'm not going to fuck with that. Because I need a person that's upgrading, bro. I need a person that, bro, you good for me right now, but the me that I'm going to be in 2 years, you got to upgrade to be with. I ain't going to lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not happening.
Yeah, no, that's a fact, bro. That's some real shit.
Hey, man. We gonna definitely react to more of these, bro. Let us know what y'all think in the comments. Have y'all ever experienced this? I know I definitely have, bro. Women used to be like, oh, what are we? Oh, do you want me? I'm like, bro, I'm not getting a relationship with you. I promise you I'm not getting a relationship with you. And there's nothing you can do to make me do that, bro. Unless I want to, unless I see it as a logical thing, bro. It's raps, especially after this self-love journey, bro. Especially after embarking on this. Like, what, bro? You think I'm gonna let you dictate anything in my life? You're crazy.
No, that's a fact.
Yeah, man. Let us know what y'all think. We out.